6:20, welcome back, and it's Friday here on Daybreak, which means it's time for Mike, the auto guy, Davidson from Parkway Automotive, take all your car-related questions.
Yep.
It's Friday, but you were here Tuesday, so
yeah,
I'm a little
that's
confused.
right. They let me in. It's okay. Well, happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. Yeah. Now you're really confusing me. Oh, dear
Everybody
Lord.
get up and go to work.
Yeah. You were talking about, you're seeing that the used car sales are just rising rapidly right
A
now?
lot of used cars being sold out there right now. And even just this week, we had a vehicle in that was purchased as a used car from one of the car lots, and it had some slight damage to it. It wasn't major, but it's something that the owner would have liked to have known. She bought it about 4 months ago. It would have been good for her to have known that. And not that it was a bad situation, that it was, a bent frame or anything like that, but sometimes that kind of data is helpful to you in making a decision or even making an offer and deciding what you're going to pay for something. So having that car inspected, and I've even seen this on what are called certified used cars, it's really good and wise to have a third party do an inspection on that car that has no interest in the sale of the vehicle or anything like that. It's very wise to do so.
New economic times, new problems you got to figure out with your cars. All right, let's go to the phone lines. People are waiting patiently. And we're going to go to our first caller. It's Robert here in Little Rock. Good morning, Robert. What's your question?
Good morning, fellas. I've got a 1966 Plymouth Barracuda, V8 273 auto, 2-barrel. I would be going uphill, and I'd start sputtering as if I was going out of gas, but it was full of gas. I'd goose it to keep it going up the hill, and then eventually when I'd level off, it'd be fine and run well. But finally, it went out on level roads too, sputtered, and I tried to restart it, couldn't get it ignition, but I got the smell of flooding.
Yeah. Here, I was 2 years old when this car came out, okay?
Showing your age.
But the first thing that comes to my mind is simply the floats in the carburetor. I mean, this is interesting because back then you had a certain amount of gas that sat in a little bowl inside the carburetor. That's where you got your fuel from, where today fuel is injected constantly by the computer. Here you have a little bowl that sits in the carburetor and has a float in it that keeps that fuel at a level. And if you notice, he said, when I'm going uphill. So the first thing I would go to is a simple float adjustment in the carburetor, because when you're going uphill, that float adjustment is most likely not correct. It's probably too low, and so there's not enough fuel in that bowl. And so when you go uphill, there's not enough fuel there to keep the engine fed.
So that's probably what
I can't believe I knew the answer to that question.
That's pretty bad,
I was thinking, I was 2 years old. This guy.
So it's a quick fix then.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Now, let me tell you, there's a guy, there's very few people who work on carburetors these days. Let me tell you one guy who can. He actually works for a parts store. Just give me a call. Let me tell you who he is and give you his phone number. His name is Monty. But he is really good.
You can't stump this guy. Was it 1968? Is that what it?
1966.
1966. Yeah. So you can't stump this guy. He knows all his cars.
Well,
all right.
love cars.
Sheila in Sherwood is our next caller. Good morning, Sheila. Go ahead with your question.
Hi. I have a 94 Nissan Sentra, and when it gets real cold in the morning, and I go out and start my car, it's fine. And then when I back out and start driving to work, my brake light comes on and it stays on. And when it eventually warms up, like gets up in the 70s or something, then it'll go off. But when it gets cold again, it'll come back on and stay on for a long time.
Well, I would just simply go and look at the fluid level in the brake fluid reservoir. Now, remember, that is a reservoir that's designed to have extra fluid available for your brake system. But when it gets low enough that a light would actually come on, there's an indication that your brake pads are worn, so we don't want to overlook the fact that you should have your brakes inspected when that light comes on. The reason they have it built that way for a reason. So we want to be sure to have the brakes inspected, but most likely the light's coming on because the fluid in the reservoir is low.
That, and you got a new temperature sensor now, too, so when it's 70 degrees, that light's go off.
That's right.
But you need to get that fixed.
That's great, man.
Unfortunately, time flies. That's
okay.
We have
two questions. I talk too much at the front end, so I have that.
Good information there. You know what? If you need to ask any questions, this is the guy here that will know all the answers to them. Mike Davidson at Parkway Automotive. We're on Kirk Road, 821-6111. You can go to KATV.com and get a link to their website.
Yep,
They got the road finish over there yet?
No, they're still working on it. And well, no, they're not working on it. That's the whole problem. But hopefully I don't know. It's just it's a long drawn out deal.
Aren't we doing like a gazillion dollars here with the new plan?
Oh yeah, we ought to have 4,700 people out there getting that road built.
Yeah, soon, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, be able to.
No.
Yeah, right. You had to bring that up. You just had to bring that up.
Ruin your day.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next here on